This day radically changed the way that I perceive myself and the things that I can do. Day started at 2 a.m. and we started to prepare for what would be the rest of this climb.
I'm a little scared because I think I'm gonna be going alone this time. I'm just mentally preparing for what that might be like, but I'm excited.
This was my very first experience sleeping in a hostel. I maybe would have appreciated it if the other couple staying with me were not making out. That would have been preferred.
It is 2:19 a.m. and I am ready to go. Excuse the little headlamp and the fact that I'm all bundled up because it's freezing. I'm feeling really excited, a little nervous. Let's go.
Today was the day that I could maybe finally be able to see the sunrise from the summit. Because I hiked during rainy season, sometimes you cannot see anything from the summit. You are just in a cloud. I was finishing this hike praying and hoping that by some slim chance, I would get a clear day in the Costa Rican rainy season to watch the sunrise from the top. I was on my own for this one, or so I thought, because I made another friend along the way. This hike to the summit was not nearly as trying as the hike to base camp.
We're about halfway there. The altitude is 11,300 feet.
It's only about 2.5 kilometers. The last part is a little climby, but I'm fueled by adrenaline and sheer willpower that I need to see the sunrise and hopefully both coasts. As I was taking a break to look at the stars and had fallen behind, I met Steven who had helped me summit this mountain. I don't think that it would have been possible for me to get to the top of this mountain without the kindness that I experienced. I know if you're watching this video, maybe you want to solo hike Cerro Chirripó or solo travel in general, and you think, what if I'm not as lucky? What if that doesn't happen to me? There is always going to be a reason not to do something. If you feel that drive to go do it, it doesn't matter. All of these external circumstances will fall into place because you're following your passion and you want to do it. Whatever you believe in, that knew that I needed help from those guys, from a Steven, and from all these other external factors to reach the top of this summit. If you have the drive and the excitement to do something, everything else is gonna fall into place. I hope that there is some part of you that wants to do what I'm doing, and you want to see that side of the world. You want to do something new or just push yourself. This is your chance. You don't need permission to live the rest of your life and do the things that you've always wanted to do. And there's always going to be a reason not to do something. Don't let the fear of the unknown be that reason. As we start to near the summit, you are met with sheer rock. The trail was very clearly marked up until this point. This is kind of when it starts to get confusing. So there's basically just uphill rock. It is a bit of a climb. It's not like you're gonna be off the side of a mountain, dangerous climb, but you are on your hands and knees. Luckily, I was with a Steven who sort of knew the trail. As I am climbing up the last few steps of this mountain, I hear the cheering as we summit. Every single person who made it up the summit received yelling and cheering and high fives and laughter from the people who were already up there. I have never seen anything like that. When I reached the top, it was no different for me. Knowing that I just did the hardest thing that I've ever done physically in my life that I didn't even think I could do the entire time I was doing it, and I decided to do it anyway, is a feeling that I wish upon everyone watching this video. I hope that you find that feeling at some point in your life.
I made it. This was like by far the hardest thing I've ever done. Physically, like in my life. Whew. The energy up here is so amazing. Everyone is cheering each other on when they reach the summit. I wish I could like describe this feeling. It's so incredible. And look at that sunrise. Oh my God. So because it's the rainy season, we didn't know if the sun was gonna rise today or if it was just heavy clouds, but the camera doesn't even capture everything. It's the most amazing thing. And to work so hard for it makes it even better. Steven está loco. The sun has risen. Oh my God. That is incredible.
As we're waiting for the sunrise, and I realize that I can't see both coasts. Did not even care, because what was most important to me is that I summited the mountain. And it was just an opportunity to practice letting go. Sometimes you're gonna have this incredible journey and you really are hanging on to something at the end and you don't get it. And I realized it was not about seeing both coasts. It was about physically getting my body from the bottom of that mountain to the top, despite anything that my brain was gonna try to tell me. The real beauty of the view was from the sunrise. During Costa Rican rainy season, that summit could have been completely immersed in a cloud and you couldn't even see 5 feet in front of you. We stayed up there for about 30 minutes, took pictures with the sign at the summit, signed the guest book, and then I started to head back down.
Okay, we made it back to base camp. I'm going to rest for like 30 minutes. It's 7:30 a.m. I left at 2:40, so I'm gonna leave in about 30 minutes to go down to the trailhead.
Now, I was pretty motivated to get back down to base camp because I knew breakfast was waiting for me, and my favorite Costa Rican breakfast food is gallo pinto. And as I was on my way down, I started walking with another one of my friends who told me he had hiked Cerro Chirripó over 70 times. I don't know if I will ever reach that number, but I was so impressed. I had my gallo pinto, and that is probably the best gallo pinto I've ever had, just because I feel like it was so well earned.
I am starting the hike down. I probably will not be filming that much because I need to charge my mics, and you guys saw it on the way up. I do think I may be doing this route alone. Hopefully I'll bump into some people on the way, and let's go.
I realized I have to get moving before it starts raining again. In Costa Rica, typically during rainy season, it usually starts to rain around the same time every day. By this point, 9 o'clock in the morning. I get my stuff together, finish my breakfast, and I start trucking it down. By the time it hit probably kilometer 5 or 6, it is fully downpouring. For those of you who have not experienced Costa Rican rain, it is not for the weak, and it is dangerous. These rocks are slippery. It is coming down. It's not like a little trickle. Everything is completely soaked. I put my camera away because I was like, I didn't know for what at the time, but I knew I needed the footage. I had one waterproof bag with me. Took out everything in the waterproof bag, put my camera in, put my mic in, and zipped it shut. Tried to actually put my raincoat around my backpack and not on me to keep it dry. I just radically accepted that I was going to be uncomfortable for the next 3 to 4 hours.
We finally made it back from the trailhead. I didn't film the last probably 7 kilometers because it was doing that the whole time. That definitely built some character. I now have to walk 1.5 kilometers to my hotel.
By the time I reached the trailhead, I could not even pull out my phone to look up the Google Maps to get back to my hotel because I could not press the buttons on my phone because of all the water on the screen. So again, just radically accepted that I was going to be very uncomfortable and kept walking. I sort of remembered the way back because when you're terrified in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., you tend to remember things a little better than if you're just not really paying attention to your surroundings. I see my hotel in the distance and I could not have been more excited to be back in the car, change and get out of every single thing that was on my body. I realized how special this experience had been as I was twisting water out of my socks, and how grateful I was to be sitting down in a dry car. If you're watching this from the dryness of your home sitting down, you have something to be very grateful for. Costa Rica is such a special place for me because it was the first place where I started grappling with that idea. And I think for anyone who wants to get into solo traveling, it is the perfect place. The people are so kind. There's just something about the country. Every time I've gone, it has given me the exact life lesson that I needed at the time. Whether it's getting used to being uncomfortable or accepting the things you can't control or appreciating the beauty in other cultures, Costa Rica has something for all of that, and it is the perfect place for self-growth. Every single time I have gone there has exposed my weaknesses. It has exposed the things that I don't like about myself or that I don't like about the world or about things that I've needed to work on. That is so uncomfortable, but it gives me strength. The quote that reads on the sign when you enter the National Park of Chirripó says, "From my weakness, I got a strength that never left me." And that is always why I return, because I know that I have weaknesses and I want to replace that with strength. And you can only find your strength if you find your weaknesses. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see where I go next.